Welcome back to more reading from Horns of the Goddess by Dolores Cannon. So in this first case study, Dolores Cannon has regressed this client back to a life in the year 700s, and the client has gone back into a life as a female druid. She says that, her people live in the hills, and she talks about once a month there is an island that they go to, and they only do this once a month because during that time the tides go low enough so that an actual walkway from their continent or island, wherever they live, they're able to actually use this walkway with the low tides to walk over to this island where they perform this ceremony. She also describes the ones from across the water from the country of Gaul who say that what they do is wrong and they kill them for it. They say that they are worshiping demons, but these druids, specifically these female druids, worship what they call the lady. Now, we don't know who the lady is yet, but it is an entity, it's not a physical person. And so this is what Dolores has been talking about with this client. So the lady is apparently this great healer, and they do this ceremony once a month in her honor to show her and let her know that they remember and hold her in awe. She says we keep watch and we listen for things that she would perhaps need us to know, and we help the folks that need it. The lady, she is a healer, and if someone needs us, we would go and do this. So then Dolores starts asking her about how they heal, and this is where it gets really interesting. Dolores says, does she show you how to heal? Yes. If you were going out to heal someone, how would you do that? K. K stands for Karen, who is the client. If we are called, we must go. And while we are there, we would prepare a fire. And in drawing this fire into ourselves, we would draw the power, and then we would channel this energy into the person who is ill and sustain them while the herbs and the things that we had put together would then do their work. Dolores, you use herbs too? K. Yes. The fire is something to gaze upon, to visualize, so that we would draw it into ourselves. This same fire, only greater, and we would become part of her. And it would be her power and her energy that would be channeled through us. Dolores, then the fire is only used for you to look at, for you to concentrate on. Yes. And when you put your hands on someone who is ill, you can direct power to that person to heal them, and you also give them herbs? Yes. Dolores, do you use any stones in healing? K. We use the purple stone that is found in the hills. Sometimes, if it is gazed upon, it has part of the fire, and then this is good. Sometimes, if there are different things that are wrong, perhaps we would use the pink stone, and that is here too. And each of us has our own personal stones, because there are several others that are used. But we find one thing on which to focus that does not necessarily have to be the same for every person. We would find something that we would use to draw our energy, if perhaps there was no fire to start. And so Dolores has her friend Harriet, who is a fellow practitioner, there with her, and so Harriet now takes over and asks some questions as well. So Harriet says, can you tell me if stones are used along with the fire? Are they placed over the fire to help you concentrate? K. Usually they are strung, and they are hung about our neck and over the point of light. They are on a long string, and they're hung from where your essence of light comes. And they take that light and they amplify it, and this is how they are used. And then Dolores writes, was she referring to the solar plexus chakra as the point of light? K. And some seem to work better with one stone than the other. Harriet, how does the individual find their correct stone? Do you go by the feel of it? K. Some stones, when they're taken into the hands, they repel, and you know that this is not good. And others, you feel the warmth and almost like love radiating out of them. And this is the fire, and you know that this one is the right stone. Harriet, then does this stone stay with you constantly, or do you put it away? K. It stays with you, yes. because the more it is with you, the more it tunes itself to you, and you tune yourself to it. Are different stones used for different types of illnesses? In other words, if one person has a purple stone, is that only good for certain types of healing? K. It depends on how much power this person can focus through the purple stone. If they have a very high level of being able to sustain the power, they can heal many things with this. But then there are those who have perhaps maybe a lower level of energy that they can focus, and they would only be able to heal certain things with their ability. Harriet. Is there any way they can improve their power to increase it? K. By opening yourself to what is around you. To use focusing exercises every day in which you focus on a certain point of yourself, the light center that is in all of us. When you learn to touch this and to hold the touch, then you will be able to release all your power. Harriet. When you say touch, do you mean actually touching with your hands or touching with your mind? K. No, it is drawing your mind into oneself and focusing to this point until you see it and recognize it for what it is. And then you would reach out to hold it and lightly caress it, and this is the joining of yourself with the energy that is all. Isn't that amazing? She also touches on the pyramids. This is really interesting. Harriet, do shapes have any significance? For example, triangles, pentagrams? K. The triangle has the points that draw in the energy, and so the central point, the center of this triangle, is the focus point. The pentagram is in the same manner. A great deal of interest has been put upon the shape of what is known as the pyramid. In the very center of this, there is a great energy focus. I have heard that those that have similar knowledge, that they use this. It is said that the people who came here before us used these shapes to a great advantage. But there is also danger in the fact that they can amplify the power so much that great damage can be done. So other ancient texts and civilizations refer to the pyramids as actually being able to harness and hold energy. So this tracks. And in the next video, as we continue on from this Druid, female Druid, she's going to talk about specific practices and rituals that they do to enhance this flow of energy and their power. And it's really fascinating. So make sure you come back for the next video because we're going to go into those specific practices. It's also really interesting because in my past life regression sessions, when I've had clients that have gone into past lives and work with crystals, their stories are always very similar to this. Like there's a one crystal that is like their crystal in which they can channel energy through and feel energy when they hold it for the first time in their hands. So I'm actually curious. So for those of you who are watching who work with crystals, does this information track with what you know to be true as well? And if so, please share about how we can all use crystals in our own practices to amplify our light energy that lives within us. I would love to hear more on this.